enjoyed Superman 2025 this year, but the suit, that was one area that almost everyone agreed with and complained about, whether they liked the movie or not, that the suit just wasn't right. Everybody has different reasons, but everybody kind of agreed they didn't like it. I mean, this thing fits David Cornsweet like a childhood Superman costume I had that my mom made me for Halloween back in the 80s. It didn't really matter who you were, you had some kind of complaint about the suit. I never heard anybody say that it was absolutely perfect. Oddly enough, I have some intriguing information that suggests that the Superman 2025 suit might be the exact same suit they use in Man of Tomorrow. After all the complaints, after all the problems, are they really gonna use the same suit? I know that James Gunn listens and changes things. There was that scene when somebody threw a can at the back of Superman's head and he flinches. That got changed. And he also changed whenever they were doing that scene with his face. He edited that a little bit more and made it look a little bit sharper. So I know he listens. But those complaints weren't nearly as loud as the ones about the suit. So we're going to look at the article I found on Superman's Super Site. I've used them for years. They're pretty reliable. I like them a lot. Now, though the article is very good, I have a lot of points I want to make based on what's in there, so stick around because we've got some very interesting things to talk about. The title is Warner Brothers Removes Superman 2025 Costume from the Studio Tour Amidst Production Developments, okay? Neil Cole wrote, Warner Brothers has discreetly removed, discreetly is an interesting choice of words, the Superman costume worn by David Cornsweet from its Studio Tour display, indicating that the iconic suit is currently in active use for ongoing production. The costume featured in the 2025 Superman film directed by James Gunn had been a highlight for visitors, but is now absent from the exhibit. Okay, so the picture here is a sign that says Superman costume currently being used by production. Now, the first indication would be that okay, so Superman, the suit that he wore in the first movie, he's gonna wear in the second movie. However, that might not exactly be the case. It could be that production is using it for reference reasons. It may be that the new suit that they could possibly be making, they're using it. But the thing is, that's weird to me because they make a bunch of these suits. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't just like make one suit and that's what he wears throughout the movie. And if that's what they did with this one, I would be shocked because they have things like, Bryan Singer in Superman Returns talked about how, when he pulled his arms out, the suit would go down his wrists. So they had to make suits special for flying. They have to make suits that whenever his cape is flowing in the wind, it's heavier so it doesn't just go all over the place. And then for certain scenes, they have lighter capes so that it does just go all over the place depending on what they're doing. So it's very possible that the suit that they have here, it's not just being used by production because they're going to reuse the suit. But it's also possible it is. And if it is, I'm extremely upset. Here's why. Lex is going to get a new war suit. But Superman doesn't? Like, I've already told y'all some of my concerns about the Man of Tomorrow movie sequel thing. I'm not like looking down on it like it's going to suck or something. But I do have some concerns that we're elevating Lex, the guy that, murdered Malik and, abused physically and verbally a woman and all this kind of stuff. And we're going to make him like team up with Superman. I don't like that. And now Lex is going to be getting a war suit. And even in the artwork by Jim Lee and other artists shows that Lex has a new suit and Superman has the same old, same old. There's no tweaks at all, and that may just be because it was done before the suit design, which they're probably doing right now. But I don't understand why that suit would need to be removed from the studio tour unless they were either using it again, like maybe they're making a new one or something so that because they get pretty beat up. And the other reason would be possibly they're using it for a reference so that they can make a new one that is tweaked and changed and different. Why did I not like the suit? Well, it's too baggy. It's not tight fitting. It's not, it doesn't look like a standard Superman suit. It looks more like a Superman armor, except that it moves like rubber. You know what I mean? Like that kind of kills the vibe, on that. And I don't think the suit ruined the movie. I like the movie. I don't think it's the greatest thing in the world, but it was a good Superman movie. It really was. They got the character so well. And I think that, I think that the suit in the movie actually looked pretty good on screen. I don't know if that's because of CGI editing. I don't know if it's because of lighting or whatever, but when I watched the movie, the suit didn't bother me at all. It also didn't stick out and scream, wow, what a great suit. You know what I'm saying? So I would be happy if we got a suit update, but I still wouldn't, just because it's going to be updated doesn't mean it's going to be, any good. I'd like to know if you could change one thing on the suit, let me know in the comments what that would be. For me, the only thing that I need to have changed is the texture, that bagginess, whatever that is, the thickness of the rubber or whatever. That's what I would change. I would change that. Don't like the color, but I don't care. We can keep that. The boots, they're not classic, but that's okay. They look New 52. That's all right. There are other things that bother me, but I can keep those. It's that texture that I can't stand. So let me know in the comments what thing you would love to change about that suit. I also want to know if you thought the suit looked as bad in the movie as it did when we originally saw it. Because that was my initial thought when I saw the movie, is that I never really considered the suit. When I was watching it, it wasn't something that crossed my mind. And I know why the reason the suit was hated by so many from the beginning, including myself, because the first shot we got of it was this right here. This was our first shot of that suit. And it's not a great shot. The colors are weird. He's all battle worn. Got the kaiju smoke on him or something. It's got the weird, by his armpits, the big fluffy curls, like from the folds. It's not a flattering looking picture. I don't know why he used it the way he did. It's got that, Starro in the background. They said there was no CGI in that picture. I guess it's because it was LED screens in the background making that Starro. And I don't know, it was just a very weird way to announce the suit, because what we could have got was something like this, which, though the colors are muted, he looks a lot more regal in this photo. He looks a lot more, and I guess, James Gunn wasn't going for that. That's not what he was going for with his Superman. He was making him look as weak as he could, making him look like he could be hurt and be killed, I guess because the previous Superman was very godlike. And the funny thing was, he was still very powerful. He had to be weakened by kryptonite and everything else to keep him from, and being fought by himself, to keep him from looking godlike, which I find kind of strange. So the question is it possible to have a better suit for the movie? Well, I don't know if we can answer that right now, but I did find a suit when Superman was coming out that I thought looked better than the actual movie. If you want to see that suit and the one that I thought we should have gotten instead, check it out right here. It was made by a cosplayer, so that's pretty awesome. James Gunn, pay attention.